Also developing a plea deal in the case of a Volusia County woman accused of shooting and killing her terminally ill husband in a hospital. It led to this tense standoff with police guns drawn and pointed at Ellen Gillen inside of her husband's room. WESH News' Pamela Combe joins us live from the Daytona Beach Justice Center. Under the terms of her plea deal, the state has decided to waive sentencing guidelines. Pamela.
They did, and before today, Ellen Gillen was facing up to 30 years in prison. Under these new conditions, she could ultimately remain free. It really is up to her attorney to convince the judge. Ellen Gillen slowly made her way into the courtroom with her walker on Tuesday. Her attorney stood before the judge to inform her Gillen was pleading no contest to all charges, including assisted self-murder, manslaughter, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
The state has agreed to waive the sentencing guidelines.
That guideline, a minimum 3-year mandatory prison sentence. But Gillen now faces anything from probation up to 10 years in prison. Before entering the plea, Gillen answered routine questions from the judge.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you into entering a plea today?
No.
And are you doing this freely and voluntarily of your own decision?
Yes.
Okay.
Gillen said she understood she was waiving her right to a trial, which was scheduled to begin on Monday. Criminal defense attorney Rajan Joshi believes this was a smart move.
Going to trial, obviously, the jury would feel sympathy, but if they were to rule based on the law, based on this evidence, I think she would have been found guilty.
Drop the gun!
Police say Gillen made a murder-suicide pact with her 77-year-old husband back in 2023. Investigators allege Gillen took a gun to the hospital, then shot and killed her husband before barricading herself in their 11th floor room for hours. Joshi says it now falls to Gillen's attorney to convince the judge to keep the now 78-year-old out of prison.
He was terminally ill and he was going to die. And this was his wishes to, be spared from the humiliation and the painful death. Unfortunately, what she did was against the law, but all these things are things the judge can take into consideration, and especially her age. I mean, she's an elderly woman, and looking at her, you can't help but feel sympathy.
The state prosecutor and Gillen's attorney did not want to comment on the case just yet. And Gillen is set to be sentenced on February 28th. We will be here for that hearing as well. Covering Volusia County live in Daytona Beach, Pamela Combe, WESH 2 News.